Hello students, today we are on to the next video of chemical bond, and in today's session we will be talking about hydrogen bond. Now let's define hydrogen bond first. It is defined as a weak force of attraction between covalently bonded hydrogen atom and electronegative atom. Okay, there are two important things in this. Covalently bonded hydrogen atom, that means hydrogen is already covalently bonded, and one more electronegative atom is there. Suppose I consider H and some electronegative atom. It is covalently bonded with it. This is the covalent bond. And the other side there is another electronegative atom. So between hydrogen and the electronegative atom there is force of attraction. This force of attraction is called as hydrogen bond. Okay, don't mistake this to be hydrogen bond. This is, children, a normal covalent bond. So hydrogen should be covalently bonded to one electronegative atom, and the other side this hydrogen is having a hydrogen bond with the neighboring electronegative atom. So suppose I consider only one HX. In this is more electronegative, so this will develop partial negative and hydrogen will develop partial positive charge. Likewise, all hydrogens will get partial positive and this will get partial negative. Right? So what will happen? This positive will attract the negative of the neighboring molecule. Okay, so though we will be considering some examples where the electronegative atom and hydrogen may belong to the same molecule also, but just to explain, I am telling you what is hydrogen bond. It is the force of attraction between covalently bonded hydrogen and electronegative atom. Now this hydrogen bond is very weak bond. If I compare in fact hydrogen bond with van der Waals forces and covalent bond, the order is like this. Electrostatic force is maximum actually. Electrostatic force is maximum, right? Then is covalent bond. Covalent bond is the next one. Okay, then comes hydrogen bond. So hydrogen bond is weaker bond than ionic and covalent, right? But it is stronger than van der Waals forces. It is stronger than van der Waals forces, right? So if we compare, this is the order. Though we say it's weak bond, but definitely it affects lot of properties. Okay, so if we write down the value, the bond dissociation enthalpy for hydrogen bond, children, it is around 12 to nearly 42. 12 to 42 kilojoules per mole, right? Per mole. This is of course lesser than that. That means lesser than 12 kilojoules will be van der Waals forces. And these are somewhere around, 200 to 400, even more than that. I mean, we can say more than 200 kilojoules per mole. Okay, so this value is somewhere in the center. Now we will talk about types of hydrogen bond. See, there are two main types of hydrogen bond. One, intermolecular hydrogen bond, intermolecular H bond, or second one, intramolecular hydrogen bond. Now let us first understand what is inter and intra. Inter means in between two. That means hydrogen and the electronegative element, they belong to two different molecules. Okay, hydrogen and electronegative element belong to different molecules. And here hydrogen and the electronegative element, they belong to same molecules. Okay, before that, one more thing, very very important point I have to tell you here. That is, the electronegative element which we are saying. this electronegative element which is involved in the hydrogen bond should be, this is a very, very important condition. Okay, this is a very, very important condition. This electronegative element should be having very high electronegativity. How much high electronegativity? It should be, 3 or more than 3. Okay, it should be 3 or more than 3. Or we can also write it should be either fluorine or oxygen or nitrogen. Fluorine electronegativity value as per Pauling scale is 4. Oxygen is 3.5. Nitrogen is 3. Then you might think, why not chlorine? Chlorine cannot exhibit hydrogen bond because of larger size, because that is another condition. So two important conditions of, small size. So two important conditions are there for, the electronegative element to form hydrogen bond. This electronegative element which is showing this hydrogen bond with the covalently bonded hydrogen should be having two conditions. Number one, it should be highly electronegative, that means either fluorine or oxygen or nitrogen. And secondly, it should be smaller in size, and the electronegativity should be 3 or more than 3. Clear? Now again we will talk about types. Now let us see this again. Two types of hydrogen bond, children, I told you. Number one, intermolecular, where hydrogen electronegative element, they belong to two different molecules. Let us take example, children, here. Say we can have one example, I just talked about HX, we can take HF. So HF between hydrogen and fluorine. This is one hydrofluoric acid molecule. So between hydrogen, which is covalently bonded, and the fluorine of the neighboring molecule. That means hydrogen and electronegative element, they belong to different molecules. So this is, intermolecular H bonding, one example. Second example, let us consider ammonia. Ammonia, we know, is pyramidal shape, right? So this, of course, electronegativity difference is there. Even here, partial negative, partial positive, that we can write. This is partial negative, this is partial positive. So this can have hydrogen bond with the neighboring ammonia molecule, and it can go on. This can have with the neighboring, this can have here, this can have here, this one can have here. So number of ammonia molecules can all get linked together. And see, we will also discuss further in the consequences how various properties of ammonia are getting affected due to intermolecular H bonding. Okay, now let us take another example of, say, water. Okay, we will take example of water. Now water, we know, is V-shaped, children. So we can write here this, right? There are two lone pairs. So two lone pairs means two hydrogen bonds can be present here. So you can have here one more water molecule, right? You can have another water molecule here. You can have one more, between this. I'm drawing in such a manner so that you can understand, because here, one question is asked in exams like, one water molecule is surrounded by how many water molecules by H bond? How many can this be surrounded with, right? So between this oxygen and hydrogen, children, here there can be one H bond. Here there can be another H bond. Between this H and O, there can be one H bond. Okay, here there can be one H bond. Normally you write down hydrogen bond with a dotted line only. Normally you are writing with the dotted line only. So is this clear? This is very, very important, children. This is asked कि one water molecule is surrounded by how many water molecules? One water is surrounded by 4 water molecules by hydrogen bond. Okay, so within this molecule, these were covalent bond, and this is H bond. Got it? Now let me consider the other intermolecular bonds here itself. Intra, children, I will take on the next page, right? I am talking about inter only here. So one example I have considered HF, second ammonia, also for intermolecular, third water. Intermolecular, children, I am taking now fourth example. Not necessary that both these molecules should be same for intermolecular. They can be different also. Like if I write, this is one water molecule, right? Now another one I am writing is, say, alcohol. So between alcohol and water also there can be intermolecular H bonding. Is this okay? So not necessary the two should be same molecule. This is water, this is alcohol, ROH. So between O of water and H of alcohol, there can be hydrogen bond present. Okay. Now let's take another example here. Say this is chloroform. This is chloroform, CHCl3. This is acetone. So between chloroform and acetone, H of chloroform and O of acetone, there can be hydrogen bond present. There can be hydrogen bond. This is important thing we'll be discussing in class 12 also. Okay. So I've discussed, children, here 5 examples of intermolecular H bond. As of now, this one, HF, ammonia, water. One water is surrounded by 4 water molecules. Water and alcohol, acetone and this. Okay, so one more I will take here because that is important question also asked. Say if I write here, this is, children, benzene. Okay, in benzene if I write here OH, it becomes phenol. And here if I write para position pe nitro, it becomes para nitrophenol. Para nitrophenol. Okay, now here if I draw one more molecule of para nitrophenol, if I draw one more molecule of para nitrophenol, so between H and O there is intermolecular H bonding, right? So between O of nitro and H of phenol, all here this is intermolecular H bonding. Okay, now let me consider examples of intramolecular. So far I have discussed all intermolecular examples, children. Now I am taking intramolecular hydrogen bond. Now let us take this example. This is, say, benzene ring, children. This is all the same structure. Now I am considering that phenol structure only. But now only thing is, these two are at ortho position. Ortho nitrophenol. This is ortho nitrophenol. That means OH and nitro are close by. If they are close by, then only intramolecular is possible. Otherwise, the distance will be more and hydrogen bond will not be possible. So between O and H, there is intramolecular H bond. Right? Let us consider another example. This is again OH, children, here. This is CHO, benzaldehyde group present. So this is orthohydroxy benzaldehyde. Now between O and H there is again intramolecular H bonding. Okay, this is intramolecular H bonding. Right. Now beta we'll be talking about the consequences of hydrogen bond. What all properties it is going to affect. See, the first consequence is that solubility. It affects the solubility. See, normally we say the covalent compounds are soluble in organic solvents. They are not soluble in polar solvents like water and all. Glucose is C6H12O6. Sugar C12H22O11. These are having OH groups in them. When we see the structure in biomolecules 12th class, you will see they have OH. So that OH can form H bond with water. Alcohol, just now we have discussed. So is this clear? They are covalent compounds. Though they are covalent, they are all soluble in water. Why they are soluble? Now you know that they are capable of forming hydrogen bond with water. Whether it is glucose, sugar, fructose, alcohol, all are soluble in water. Right? This is very important thing. Next one. Suppose you are asked some sodium compounds or ammonium compounds, right? So, sodium ion or ammonium ion. Which will be more soluble? We will say this one. Why? Because this can form hydrogen bond. If this is to be dissolved in water, this will be surrounded by water molecules, right? So when this is dissolved, surrounded by water molecule, this will be ion dipole force of attraction. That means water is a dipole. So this will have minus and the positive end of water, right? So this will be iron dipole force of attraction. Between this and water, there will be H bond. So the ammonium ion will be more soluble than sodium ion. Clear? Next property which is affected by the hydrogen bond. So next property we are taking is association. See, due to hydrogen bond, there are certain molecules which undergo association, which exist as dimers. Like if I consider acetic acid, this is acetic acid, one molecule. This is acetic acid, another molecule. Right? So between H and O, there is H bond. This is a H bond. It is existing as a dimer. You must have heard of the term polymer. Polymer means many molecules get linked together. This is a dimer. Dimer means two get linked together. So we can say two acetic acid molecules are undergoing dimerization. They are getting associated, due to which we consider the molecular mass of acetic acid double of its value. Each one is 60. So 60 plus 60, we take it as 120. Right? Why 120? Because it is always existing as a dimer. Okay, it is undergoing association. Now one more thing, you will be talking about salt analysis in the lab. We normally use sulfuric acid, for testing the anions. Why we do not use HCl? Why we do not use nitric acid? This is sulfuric acid. So for that, answer again is H bond. There are a lot of applications. I told you in the beginning only, this is a very, very important part, children. See, this is one sulfuric acid. This is another sulfuric acid. So between sulfuric acid molecule H and O, H bond, there is H bond here. So due to this, what happens? The two sulfuric acid molecule, not necessary two. This side also can be there. This side also can be there. This is association only. Okay, so number of sulfuric acid molecules can get linked together. I am showing you two. So due to which, children, it is oily in nature. We say this is oil of vitriol. And moreover, we say it is non-volatile. It is non-volatile. Non-volatile means it doesn't form vapors. So when you're adding this to any salt, you will not get any vapors. Okay, so this will not interfere in the testing of the anions. It will give the test nicely. Okay, this is an important question asked, recent question asked in inorganic chemistry. Why sulfuric acid? Even in Viva, why sulfuric acid preferred in, testing the anions? Fine. The third application or the third consequence of hydrogen bond we are taking is boiling point. This has lot of applications. One question is asked that para-nitrophenol has more boiling point than ortho-nitrophenol. Why? Just now we have discussed that this one has intermolecular H bonding and the second one has intramolecular H bonding. Just now we have drawn the structures. Here we have drawn the structures. You can see this is para-nitro. This is having intermolecular H bond, and this is ortho-nitrophenol. It is having intramolecular H bond. Okay, so this is the answer you are going to write down for this boiling point. Right now, okay. This is clear. This has intermolecular, this has intra. Now, another question can be asked on the basis of this. HF, HCl, HBr, HI. These are all compounds of the same group with hydrogen. Normally we say down the group, size of the molecule is increasing. Size is increasing means surface area is increasing. Van der Waals forces of attraction increasing. Boiling point should be increasing. It increases, but HF has maximum boiling point. Why? Intermolecular H bonding. Likewise here also, same reason. Here also, same reason. Surface area, van der Waal, boiling should be increasing, but water has maximum boiling point. If you are asked to arrange them in the increasing order of the boiling point, or you are asked which one has the maximum boiling point, so all these questions you can answer. Now here, slightly different, ammonia is somewhere here. That means least is pH3, then ASH3, then NH3, SbH3, BiH3. Because children, there are two factors which are affecting. One is H bond, that is only for the first one, and the next one is van der Waal forces. So though van der Waal forces are increasing down the group, but for ammonia was not behaving well. This was slightly different. This is another important question asked children. Why does ice float in water? Because in ice also there is hydrogen bond, and each water molecule is surrounded by 4 water molecules, and these 4 water molecules, when they surround, it forms a sort of a cage. So gaps are there in between, due to which the density decreases. So this is the reason why ice floats on water. That is because it's having hydrogen bond, and it results in the formation of cage like structure. Okay, suppose ice is there at 0 degrees Celsius and you start heating it, say at around 4. So these hydrogen bonds start breaking. When hydrogen bonds start breaking, water molecule, these bonds will not start breaking when you are heating it. H bond will start breaking. When these H bonds start breaking, what is happening? Then the density becomes more. So at 0 degree, the density is less. At 4 degree, this water has maximum density. It has maximum density at 4 degree. Right? Okay. Sometimes you may have some questions like, say, ethyl alcohol and ether. Ether is ROR. Okay, which will have more boiling point? This one. Which will have more boiling point? Alcohol will have more boiling point. Why? Intermolecular H bonding. This is because of intermolecular H bonding. Is it clear? Suppose you are asked HF, ammonia, water. Which has more H bonding? Obviously this one. This is more electronegative element. This will have more intermolecular H bonding. Hydrogen bond will be strong. I hope you have followed hydrogen bond types and its consequences properly. Thanks for watching.